Hello everyone, welcome to another day in our 24-day tag challenge for 2020. Here we've got a simple blended background with some embossing on the top. But the thing that I want to emphasize here is the way in which we can blend colors and how easily we can get that to happen seamlessly. So as always, the tag size that I'm using is 6.5 centimeters wide by 12.5 centimeters long, and then I've just snipped the corners by measuring 1 centimeter in from the edge and 1 centimeter down from the top. So we'll get started. The stamps that I'm using here are Lavinia stamps. We've got the Squirrel, we've got Tree Branch and the Snowflake set. And something else that I'm using are the new set of hill masks by Lavinia. You get 4 in the set, and I've just chosen this one, which has sort of got a bit of an undulating hillside. The 3 colours that I'm going to be using are cracked pistachio, which we're going to put along the top, tumbled glass, which is for the majority of the card, and then faded jeans, which creates this deeper hue behind the squirrel. So I'm just going to line that up and just making sure it's not too dark, because we can always put more on, but it's trickier to take it off. And then we're going to take, that was faded jeans, and now we're going to go in with tumbled glass and blend it all around that area. When you get towards the faded jeans part, you're going to press a little harder, because that way we managed to get this lovely blend between the 2 colours. And those harsh lines have now disappeared. Just to protect my work, so we don't need the line now. So I am using tumbled glass over the whole area of the tag, and then I am going to put the cracked pistachio on top of it. Again, that just creates a different colour blend. The whole time I'm moving my sponge in a circular motion, and we don't get any harsh lines that way. So I'm now going to just take my cracked pistachio and I'm just going to come in again from the edge onto the tag. Oh dear, let's take that away. Don't need that then. It's going to cause us more trouble than it's worth. There we go. Now, if at any time you feel that you've gone too heavy on the cracked pistachio, you just bring in a little bit more tumbled glass again, and you see it just brings it back and fades the whole thing in seamlessly. There we go. I've just got a line across there, so I'm going to, there we are. I'm happy with that. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to I need to get rid of this mess so that we don't put that onto our card. Is I'm going to use my anti-static pad to make sure that we don't get any embossing powder that we don't want it. Using our embossing clear embossing pad. Oops. Okay, now if that ever happens to you, the stamp doesn't stick to the acrylic block, which does happen. You know what? All it needs is a bit of a clean. That's just water. Clean the back of the stamp and it will stick. So here we are, back to inking up our little squirrel, making sure we've got an even coverage of that clear embossing powder, and we're just going to sit him at the top of that hill. And the embossing powder that I'm using is Wow Superfine White, the bright white that is. Superfine bright white. There we go, we're going to move him out the way. Now, even though we have got the tree branch and the squirrel in white, I like to do them separately. Then I know where I am. So I'm just going to heat it. So what I've done now is I've put my anti-static pad on. Using the actual mask, I cut my own. I cut a paper version of it, and the reason for that was because I did find the first time I did it that my tree rocked over the mask. So for this instant I created a paper mask using the same lovely pattern, and I'm going to use that to mask off the bottom of my tag. So I've inked up the tree branch and I'm going to place it over my squirrel. Again. Again, using superfine bright white embossing powder. Lovely. And I'm just going to heat that up. Second to last thing is as I'm going to take this lovely snowflake stamp and using faded jeans, I'm going to create some snow in the background. Now when you're doing a stamp that's got three like this, every now and again you want to rotate it, otherwise all the snowflakes will be falling in the same pattern, and that is certainly not what happens. Okay. And then finally, one thing more is that we're going to create the snow splatters in the background. So I'm going to use this bleed proof white paint, which is a very sharp paint. You can use a Posca pen, that will work just as well. And I'm sure you've seen me before. I'm just going to water it down so that I get a nice fluid consistency of paint, and it creates these lovely, lovely splatters. And so finally, the last thing we're going to do is, using my big bite, I've just cut a hole in the top of my tag This is about 20cm piece of organza sheer ribbon that I've just snipped into a corner, and I'm just going to fold it through the hole. It's a bit thicker than we've used before, so that's why having a point on it is pretty helpful. Pull it through and loop it over, and there we have our tag. So there we go. I'd love to see what you make. Please post your makes in the group. Please tag me. I hope you've enjoyed it, and thanks for watching. Bye.